to the Reset Button, episode 21. My name is Reset Patrick, and as usual, I am not here alone. We've got a lot of topics here, a lot going on, and we are actually broadcasting live on a different day than we usually do, and I'll get into exactly why that happened in a moment. But as usual, we'll do the round table to get everybody acquainted with who is on this show besides just this face. I mean, that'd be a terrible show if it was just this the whole time. We have multiple hosts. Welcome, Mr. Johnny Chase.
Hey, I'm at 60 frames per second now.
Boom!
And I didn't have to set my camera settings 2 minutes before air. Thanks, Elgato. Fuck you, Logitech.
We are not endorsed by either.
No. But I mean, Elgato, you want to send us a nice, sweet check and some. I could use some key lights, maybe a Stream Deck XL, so I don't have to go through 4 pages of sound alerts.
Same. I'm using regular Stream Deck. If you want to send me an XL to make the show better, I mean, you can go ahead and do that. That won't be a problem. Yeah. Just send it on over. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And the other host we have here, she was missing last time. I don't know what happened. We may have to ask her what went on there. We've got Liz.
I went to a gazebo and there were no unspeakable things this time, as far as I know. So I am back from going to MagFest back in January. And then I went to KatsuCon and oh my god, these cons are life-changing, and I've changed my priorities for the next con season of axing some stuff and making Mag and Katsu like a staple for the future. They were both fantastic and phenomenal and worth every moment. It was excellent. So now I kind of know what to expect going to the same place, same venue for different events, and it was like the coolest thing ever. It was great. Great time.
Question for you: how long was the wait to get a photo taken at the gazebo?
There was like always lines, unless you got up like really early, like 6 a.m. kind of moment. I didn't really care about getting a photo in the gazebo, and I did like little recordings and stuff of the con. I did some like videos of MagFest, and I didn't really put anything up for Katsu. I'm just really tired. But yeah, definitely Katsu. That gazebo was extremely high demand, and they had people like monitoring the line and like making people take turns, which was actually really smart. But yeah, it felt kind of like disorganized line con. Like it took them like a day and a half to figure out how to organize their lines somehow, and it was really stupid. But aside from that, it was great.
I would say I feel that's always like convention 101. It's like we don't know how to organize a line, so just wrap around this area. Oh, it's bleeding into this. So that's fine.
It was so dumb. Like
people get it down, I feel.
Yeah, but like they didn't put like tape on the floor until like a day later, and then they didn't really have people like guiding the lines. It was so stupid. Like it's like I don't even know where I'm supposed to go if there's like no guide or like no ropes, no tape. Like I don't know. A lot of the staff seemed pretty like aggressive and rude at Katsu. It was really weird, and I don't know.
It's wild.
I don't know. Like it wasn't rowdy like everyone says it is, but they were just so overly rude. It was such a different change of temperature compared to Mag. Like Mag felt like maybe people in like their 30s to early 40s, like mature adults, and then Katsu's definitely younger adults. But nobody was like being criminal about anything. I don't know. So, but like the attitude was definitely like old otaku nerds that were like, these young kids, like, man, like, gets angry at Cloud kind of vibes with the staff, where, like, the staff at MagFest was like, yeah, we're one of you. It was, like, old anime fans getting angry at young anime fans. It was so strange.
Back in my day, we had Astro Boy and Sailor Moon, and we like it, goddammit.
Well, like all the people that show ran it, I would say they're definitely like closer to like the 40 age mark in terms of like most of the staff and everything. Not much different than MagFest, but the anime vibe is different than the gaming vibe in many cases.
I was going to say the 40 age staff. Wow. Hang on here. Whoa.
Ow.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I like it was pretty cool talking to fans of things where I'm like, I've always wanted to watch this and now I'm watching it. It's amazing. They're like, I watched that when I was a kid. And I'm like, well, I was like an infant when this came out, and now I'm finally watching and I love it. So
By the way, hello everybody in chat. For everybody's here live, or if you're watching this later on YouTube,
Yeah.
chat is insane tonight. I mean, 40 is basically dead. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. I was cupping my face to his earlier comment. Did she say MAGA Fest?
Of course.
That's not why she went to
No.
DC.
January
God,
6th,
no!
man. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm done.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm dead.
Wrong podcast.
It definitely is.
Anyway.
God, shots fired.
I don't know how to segue from this.
I'm having trouble breathing now.
Who's playing them video games? I'm playing the heck out of 7 Rebirth. Well, like 5 hours in, and I haven't left the grasslands yet because I'm just doing so much side stuff. But
You know what? I'm glad you brought up what are you playing right now, because I have a confession, everybody. I think I've confessed this before, but that was over in Game Days, which means I haven't said it here. But I've never finished Super Mario 64. I've never done that, and I'm gonna do that like now. I've been playing it like right now, all day today. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it before my daughter's born, or I'm just gonna throw my Switch out the window and just be like, I don't deserve this thing. Be free.
I didn't hear what game. What game?
Mario
did you say?
64.
I didn't hear you.
I
I
don't want to say it again.
you're terrible. You're terrible, Nintendo. Fake fan.
I have not finished Super Mario 64. Arrest me.
Okay. Patrick. It's okay. Have fun.
Kick him
Are
from
you
the
playing
call.
like
He's
the original
hosting.
version? Or are you playing like the Switch little Mario 3D All Stars bundle?
Or am I playing the Switch
Or the DS?
version? There can be the DS version, which I own, by the way. There can be that version. There could also be the Switch Online version, the original, or the 3D All Stars version. So there's 4 different ones.
Yeah.
I'm playing the Switch Online. I'm being lazy.
Bro,
Nothing
it's
wrong with
fine.
that.
Don't even. You're still playing it. It's a fun game. It did so much for video games. It's awesome. It's a fun game. I honestly like playing like the 3D All Stars one. I lost a lot of interest in replaying it very quickly. Where I'm like, this game's so janky. Pretty much like everything. N64 is like, God, this is so janky. That's kind of how I feel now. But
I mean,
I do want to
that's
get a
true.
perfect N64 collection one day. That's a dream. One day.
I want to get back into the DS version because like it had the other characters like Wario and stuff on it, right?
Mhm.
Like, did they
Yeah.
play different?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you,
which is
don't
cool.
even, you don't even start as Mario.
I never
you start
played
as
that
Yoshi.
though.
Oh fuck! I don't remember
That was
that.
the dream.
Yeah.
I
like,
remember being a kid and
Mario-
we had so many Yoshi rumors as like growing
Yeah,
up. It was
like-
crazy.
Mario, Luigi, Wario pop out of the pipes going to the castle first, and then Yoshi pops up and it's just like, oh, they haven't gotten back yet. I better go in after them. And I think after you collect like 5 or 6 stars, that's when you unlock Mario. Because there's like a back room of the Mushroom Kingdom that like unlocks all the other characters to play as.
I remember.
is
So, I
so
want to say they
cute.
added like an extra 60 stars to the game.
I remember unlocking Wario,
really?
but I don't think he did anything.
Why don't we have a remaster of this game? It sounds so much more. That'd be cool.
It would be, but you have to remember, Nintendo, while they love us, they hate us. It's just, it's this
Oh.
weird connection that all the fans have with Nintendo. Like, I don't know. They want to do nice things for us, but they don't want it to be too nice. Like a Mario anniversary, and it's like, we'll do all this cool stuff, and we'll give you this wonderful game called Super Mario Brothers 35. You'll really enjoy that.
Oh.
Why do you have to torture me like that? Why do you have to bring it back up again?
But then
Okay,
it
okay.
can't
Let me just
stay.
say this. A company which hates its fans is like similarly to Nintendo is Atlas, and my whole life right now is being
So I've heard.
consumed by Persona 3 Reload. And they also announced that they are doing another version of SMT5, and I still haven't even played SMT5 base, like the base game, the vanilla version. And honestly, I probably would have started playing SMT5 if it was not Switch exclusive, because I fucking hate playing on my Switch. If it was like on the PS4 or 5, I probably would have played the game already. But Persona 3 Reload is like, it's okay, so long story short, Persona 3 is like one of my favorite games ever. I bought it, the original game, like the week it came out back in ye old days. And like the high school characters were literally my age in high school, and everything was so edgy and cool when I was 14 playing this game. Okay. I digress. But the problem with Persona 3 Reload, it is still not the definitive version of Persona 3. And there's been so many versions of Persona 3 now. It's probably the best, let me be real, but it is technically not definitive. And that's a nightmare in itself. And again, Atlas releasing another version of SMT5, which I'm not surprised, they always do it. But like how much time do I have to play like 80-hour RPGs? And I have to play every version and all the differences and things. So I'm just doomed with Mega 10 games, is the long story short.
Yeah, that's the trick. You don't have enough time.
I don't think there is enough time. There just isn't.
No.
It's the same thing. Like, how much time is there to bitch about the fact that Super Mario 35 is now gone? How much time does anybody have to do that? The answer is forever.
I researched if it was still possible to play it. It is on a hacked Switch. You have a hacked Switch and then have some other like stupid thing on there. I don't know if it's possible on emulator, which by the way, Yuzu, if you know, you know, get it now.
If you know, you know. See, you're telling me things where some guy like went to prison over this shit because of like hacking switches and whatnot, and yet you're telling me I can play Super Mario 35. Risk. That's
just
painful.
make your own private server and play with friends.
We'll just make our own Super Mario 35. No, that game was.
They tried that and then they got that blocked. Do you remember Mario 99?
Wasn't that
there was a fan there was a fan made Mario Battle Royale. It got shut down like right
away. That was
away.
Mario 128. I'm sorry, Mario 128 was Miyamoto's silly idea that never happened. No, there was a Mario 99, like Tetris 99.
Well, not official, but there was a fan made Mario Brothers Battle Royale game. Yeah.
I would have played
but then that got taken down like right away. That got Thanos snapped right away. But then they brought it back and it's like, oh yeah, we have it, but you know, copyright free characters. Is like, oh, I don't care. Sorry, I want Mario.
I just look over.
I know that's selfish of me, but
looking over at Chad here.
Chat says Super Mario is the friends we made along the way.
No, we need
Thank
35
you, Ezra.
back.
What the hell?
We need it.
Yeah.
What's with the random me being ginger in the chat? I've already explained this to everybody. I'm not Irish. I'm Scottish. I figured that out. Okay.
Someone's saying that you're Dollar General Jesse Cox.
Wait, did you actually have Cox censored in your chat? Did you purposely do that, or did you do the thing where it's like all bad words generally blah blah blah?
I have no idea.
Generally censored.
Lion King John typed up Cox. COX. That's how you spell his last
it's
name.
censored on my end. I don't know. I don't know. Jesse who?
My ancestry is from the Scottish Highlands. Yes. But again, we don't want to get into that word because that is also the other podcast. We want to watch it. Shots fired. Before we get into the actual topics we want to talk about, so I should explain myself a little bit. Why are we doing this show on a Sunday? Why did I fuck it all up like I did? So I actually wanted to ask everybody
Isn't-
a little something about that. Has anybody ever played, like, I know video games is the podcast here, but has anybody ever played like any pen and paper with people, like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder?
I've
I
attempted.
would love to, but nobody will.
Nobody will. Oof.
Yeah, I've attempted. I unfortunately have a very, very short attention span, and for all creator, my wife in the chat will attest to this. We've tried several different campaigns, and unfortunately, it's just not for me. I think the fandom is great. I think the community's great. It's just, and pen and paper D&D, I never could get into. And this is from someone who like purposely bought uh a dungeon master or DM's handbook for a D20 WWE pen and paper RPG that never got off the ground. It's still sitting up on my bookshelf.
Oh wow.
But yeah, would never happen.
Well, so
But no, yeah.
the last week, I would say it's Sunday. We're into a new week now. Last week, I had to officially step away from a campaign that I've been playing with some people I know locally for the past 2 years, 2+ years, because almost baby
Wow.
time. So she and I, we had to wrap it up.
I mean,
Our characters had to get their little knapsacks and be on their way down the road by themselves. It was all over. And it was just, it's interesting to be in a group where, like every Wednesday you're going to meet up with them and you're going to play the campaign. And that's going to be what you do for a couple hours, 3 hours or so every Wednesday. But now it's over. We wrapped it up and that was done. But I also got to do something extra cool. Some people in chat who know pen and paper may know Call of Cthulhu. Now that is the pen and paper that's 1, easier than hell, and 2, get you able to do some like scary stuff and some horror and whatnot. And I was able to do a one-shot campaign with some folks I haven't talked to in years. It was a one-shot, one-night thing, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in. That's how I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory with this. It was a great night. Had a lot of fun. Now, of course, a lot of these people I'm still going to
Awesome.
see in the, like, when I'm out and about and what have you. It's just we can't, play pen and paper for a while because kiddo. But
Just
it was good to
the
wrap
last
up.
little bit of freedom before baby. You gotta
Mhm.
close a few little things, but you can always come back. It's just gonna take a little time. Just a little time.
For Gothra, it's more like detective work. Correct. It is. It's more like detective work in Call of Cthulhu. But the point is, your characters could potentially go insane and die horribly,
Yeah.
which ours
So
did.
fun.
Just the way it should be. Terrible things happened to them, and that was the end of that. But yeah, I think we'll probably get another campaign going with them once we figure out exactly when we can get back into it. It's just first we have to figure out, how do you be a parent? How do you do that?
True.
And
First baby's gonna feel so hard.
to
Like every parent is
parent.
like, first child hardest, the second child you could basically just like yeet them and it's no worry.
just yeet them.
Yeah, like every
Perfect.
parent was like, the first child, it was just hard to figure out how to be a parent. But then you have the second child and you just know how to be a parent. That's like the story of a lot of parents, it seems like.
You just Super Bowl them.
They're tough. They can Yeah, like these kids are tougher than you think.
That's so silly. I love it. Oh, we should move on and talk about the topics we had in mind here. Oh, because the title of this one is The Sour Grapes of 2024. Why is it titled that? Because 2024 wishes it could be last year. It can't. Not when you start like this, because I don't know if you noticed, but holy shit, in the games world, 2024 hasn't been so wonderful. I mean, we've had some good stuff, like the new Final Fantasy. I hear it's great. I hear it's wonderful. Awesome. Also hear that thousands of people have lost their fucking jobs since the beginning of the year. That's a problem. So we have essentially a games industry that is just kicking ass in terms of sales. Things are looking pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Sony recently stated that they're selling less PS5s than what they projected for this fiscal year. But in the same breath, they forgot to mention, and this was actually, I think, reported by Jason Schreier, that their sales have been outpacing the PS4 in the same year. Like year 3 of PS4 versus PS5, it's outpacing. Yet they're going to say, well,
Oh my god.
it's not going the way we thought it was, guys. We're just going to have to lay off 600 people. Oh, what
Hold
a
on.
shame.
Question.
Yeah.
Is this Sony North America or like Sony?
I think it's like their worldwide entertainment section.
Okay.
I don't think it has to do with like Sony Pictures, for example.
No. Just like with the division for gaming, like where the layoffs happen, if we know.
I do
'Cause-
not on
No.
that one specifically.
No,
Because I feel like
don't
this
think
would
they could-
change my opinion on what's going on.
I want to say possibly Insomniac has been affected. I know at least that's one of them.
I would imagine that most of the
Mm.
layoffs are going to be in North America. That would be
Yeah.
essentially what I'm expecting, because the trend right now for layoffs that I've seen while looking into this it seems to be all Western, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know what? Insomniac did not win Spider-Man 2 Game of the Year or any awards in any way. And Sony's like, we need to rethink this Spider-Man IP situation.
are you saying that we're
That's
partially
probably what's going
responsible?
on. Let's be
Mhm.
real.
Are we partially responsible?
I haven't.
for
No,
this?
seriously. Like, think about it. No, think
Is
about
it
it. Like,
me?
okay,
Am I
Spider-Man
the
2
problem?
good, but Spider-Man 2 not good enough. And that was their big baby. That was a huge baby for the holiday season, and it got its ass whooped by so many other things. Let's be real. Think about it.
That is true. I mean, they
Possibly.
swung for the fences with that. But I mean, in terms of overall sales, I think they were also just really banking on hardware sales. And while it didn't meet their expectations, I mean, it's already been proven that sales are outpacing PS4. They just expected sales to be higher, I guess, but
Yeah, that's kind of the GTA 5 effect, because like when GTA 5 came out on 360 and PS3, like it sold gangbusters. It's like in the hundreds of millions, almost close to billions. And then the Tomb Raider reboot came out and it sold really well.
Mhm.
But Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics are like, now this is essentially failure. It's like, why? Because we didn't make the GTA money. It's like, well, no, you're not going to make GTA money. GTA money is GTA money.
yeah.
Like you
That's very
can't compare
specific.
yourselves to GTA. Like GTA is a cultural phenomenon. Like Tomb Raider is a video
Yeah.
game. It's a good video game. Don't get me wrong. I'm contractually
Oh my
obligated to say
God.
that because I live with the world's biggest Tomb Raider fan. Just come through this door and kick my ass. But no, I played.
Oh,
I
that'd
played.
be a feature
I
on
played
here.
Tomb Raider on launch. Tomb Raider is a great game, and there's all the sales and praise that I got. But you gotta look at realistics and it's like, no, we're never gonna touch GTA 5. Like people have bought it 3 times over. You're looking at one of them right now.
Well, here's the other
No,
problem.
I mean, I said 2.5 because I bought GTA Online because they separated it from the main games. It's like I own GTA on Xbox 360 and Xbox One,
wow.
but I've only played the online because like I played the single player. I powered through that within like a week and moved on to online. Never touched it again.
Well, what
I
I
think
was
it's
going
a
to
good
say there
choice to separate them.
Mm-hmm.
is we even have a question here. Does Sony go harder in the consoles since people don't buy DVD/Blu-ray systems anymore? Now, along with that, another thing to consider when Sony's saying, well, we're not selling the consoles we expect to sell, is around this time, the same time the life cycle of the PS4 versus the life cycle of the PS5. I don't think they're also remembering that they used to have more console bundles. You know, you'd buy the console, you'd get a game with it, and every time I go to a store and I look at something, I don't see that. I don't see that there's like any bundles going on, anything that would really entice somebody to buy the system. So that's something that is almost completely absent this generation compared to the last. And
they need to
I
do
can't say for
like
certain
an upgrade version of the PS5 at this point.
Oh, they have. There's
Ooh.
already a PS5 Slim. They don't call it a Slim.
No.
There's a remodel of it, but it's like
it's not
Let me
beefier.
check it out. I don't remember this.
I'm pretty sure it's out and it's replaced the latest model of the PS5. Because there's like one that you can buy.
Slim console disc.
Yeah. There's no disc
But
drive
like,
in
is
it,
it
but
just
like it
smaller?
breaks apart. I mean, 10% is a.
Disc
it's like
version.
that, you know?
Well,
I think so.
even with a discless one, it would still make more sense for them to bundle something with it. You can bundle a code. And I don't know if anybody's ever added additional storage into their PS5, but it is like ridiculously easy to do that. So you can get more storage and go all digital. Fine. That's no biggie. It's just, I don't know why they're not including bundles when I would imagine they know that's something that really drove sales previously.
Well, they tend to only do them around the holidays. The last bundle I remember was the Spider-Man 2 bundle, but that was like for a specific, like exclusive looking PS5. Like it had like the Spider-Man skin on the side of it. Before that, it was the God of War Ragnarok bundle.
Yeah,
and I want to say there was a Horizon 2 bundle.
So there's bundles. But there's bundles specifically for their exclusives to try and push that game. And then after that game is pushed, it's over. And if they don't have another exclusive game coming out, I mean, you don't see any more bundles. And once that one is sold out, it's done. Like Fortnite, still a very popular game. It actually just exploded with several new game modes, new features, new everything. Why aren't we doing focus on things like that I would guarantee you would get more sales? I mean, believe it or not, people don't like to mess around with their computers and make sure the Fortnite runs the best it can. They'd rather just play console and be over.
Dude, that's why I don't play PC. It's like not comfortable to sit at a desk, and the computers are just complicated and annoying to deal with.
I want to say like there were Fortnite bundles for Xbox, but not really. It was just gave you like an exclusive skin, and I think there was like there was like a 3-pack that gave you stuff for Fortnite, Rocket League. I want to say Fall Guys because I think that might be the other Xbox, or that might be the other thing Epic bought that has skins in it. Can't remember offhand, but like I'm looking up PS5 bundles right now. There was there was a Horizon one.
Yes,
there was a Spider-Man one, a Spider-Man Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that one.
Have we considered...
there was one that was just Spider-Man, but there was one without the skin.
What is it, Liz?
So have we considered maybe Sony could be saying, we didn't meet our quota, there was not enough demand for a PlayStation Portal remote player, and we're just going to punish the company that nobody bought this thing that like people like don't want. Actually, I do want one, but
I want one, but I don't want it. I don't want it for the price they're wanting.
No.
Like the price is crazy.
It's the price of the Switch. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't have a television in my bedroom, and all I want to do is play PS5 in my bed. That's all. That's the only reason why. Yeah, I could probably just put a TV in my bedroom, but it doesn't work that way. Okay.
If I tried to put like a TV in the bedroom and tell her like I'm gonna play PS5 now, she would probably bludgeon me. But
I mean, our TV upstairs is for one purpose only. Ours upstairs is for one purpose only. It's our YouTube watching machine whenever we're sick in bed, or wife has it on the background if I'm streaming and she's gone to bed, because she likes to keep me in the background. And hope to God I'm not playing anything like super intense for him, like hollering and screaming and swearing. But then again, I do have a limiter on my mic so it doesn't peak over a certain decibel. So
Oh, I was going to say,
she's safe in that regard.
that would be really fun that
Mm.
she gets to hear like that on the stream and somewhere in the house at the same time. I've
That's
actually
that's our environment. That is our environment during
This-
Extra Life. Extra Life is like every TV and every possible monitor has the stream open just to boost numbers. No, that's a terrible thing to do, but like, you want as many eyes watching the product as possible. So if those numbers are up, hey,
Yeah.
it's also too for help for me. Like if I like, when we do it over on game day, so we do Extra Life, I'm kind of the broadcaster, so I'm running everything. But then again, I can't be here 12 to 24 hours at a time, and I need a break every now and then. So I keep everything on a television or monitor somewhere, just so in case like someone's Discord call drops or someone's stream drops, I can run back downstairs and be like, oh nope, got it. All right, we're good. And let me go back upstairs and either take my nap or have my lunch or whatever. So that's kind of our reasoning for doing it.
Oh, and moving on to this, because I also wanted to bring this up while I'm still thinking about it. Still picking on Sony. I swear stop pick on Sony night, but this is just a portion of it here. So, along with them saying, "Oh, we just haven't sold enough. We're just gonna have to let all these people go. It's it's bad. So sorry.
Oh my god.
It's just gonna have to be that way." Apparently, according to Sony, the PlayStation 5 has now entered the latter half of its life cycle at just slightly over 3 years, meaning it is officially it's been confirmed. I'm not telling you any lies. I'm not making anything up here. It was said by Sony themselves. This is going to be a 6-year console. It's going to be a 6.
That's crazy. It's a 6-year console, but yet the last console is still alive. Like, I don't consider the PS4 dead. They still make games for the PS4.
I would literally die if I was still playing my PS4 because the PS4 sucked. I'm still going to stand by the PS4 sucking, but bless those souls that could still handle it. Let's be real. Oh my god.
My question is, okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of PC tech head with everybody here. Just roll with me for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna go with AMD processors, like the AM5 socket just came out. We've got some new technology. We've got DDR5 RAM. It's finally starting to become, more available and more affordable. But even at the moment, like, think of the latest games you're going to be playing. Just think of like a game that you think could possibly melt your console or start the fans kick on, everything goes insane. It's still running. It's fine. You don't need DDR5. You don't need AM5 socket CPU to play the latest games. This is just if you're wanting to do like heavy shit. Whatever. Push it to like 200 frames per second if you want to. Okay, cool. But PS5 doesn't do that. It doesn't need to do that. So my question is, 3 years from now, are we still going to be looking at the same thing and saying, oh, well, now we definitely need this new console with DDR5 RAM, and we need it with the latest like socket and CPU? Bullshit, we do. Come on.
I am almost willing to bet real money in the next 2 to 3 years when Sony or Microsoft come around with their new hardware and developers in their little videos will say, now we can make our dreams reality. Now we can use the power of this console to widen our imagination. Bitch, you've been saying this for the last 3 console generations. When is your imagination gonna end?
I don't know what else there's to
become
do.
reality?
That's exactly what they said when they started talking about Project Scorpio. That was Project Scorpio, was it not?
Yep.
When they were like, oh, now we have this machine that is going to be able to do everything we thought we could do. And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, they started talking about Xbox Series X.
And then our dreams will become realities.
Go ahead, Liz. Sorry.
It's like weird to think that obviously we don't want to be trapped and dawdling in the past, but it's like weird to think, like I feel like we're at a point with video games where like the leap between consoles is just marginally better instead of massively better, like back in the
Mhm.
old days. You know, think
Yeah.
about your NES to your Super Nintendo, then your Super Nintendo to your N64, and then your N64 to the GameCube. And everything since like that Xbox PS2 GameCube era, like obviously if we look at a game, a similar styled game today versus, you know, a few generations back, yeah, it's gonna be very different. But like once we get really deep into like the 3D era, I feel like how much more can you do between the consoles?
Exactly.
Like you guys made the really valid point. Like the PS5 is still playing games. It's probably not the most optimal thing. Again, I don't care about my PS4. Like whatever. The PS4 is
Yeah.
still releasing stuff, but I don't want to be like narrow-minded and be like, oh, a PlayStation 6 or the next Xbox or I don't know, whatever. I'm just making stuff up.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much better it's gonna be and if it's worth it yet. And I think that's kind of like why we're all upset here.
No, it's absolutely
And
not worth it. I mean,
Woody Man says in the chat there too, wasn't the PS5 not even available for like the first year of release? Impossible to find. Yeah,
yes.
like that in Series X, like unless you pre-ordered them at launch, it was near to impossible to get it unless you scalped it from someone. Because guess what?
Oh,
Lockdown kept people away from work, and no one was in the mines getting all the materials we needed for the chipsets and all this. Like, no joke, at my work, like we weren't
hold on.
refurbishing,
I
like
gotta
people we were
brag.
ordered from like from cell phone companies. We're like, don't refurbish these devices. If anyone gets it, send it back, because we need to basically strip those things for parts for our next phone. Like, we need to salvage what we can.
So I hate to brag, y'all, but I did get a launch PS5 in addition to like 2 or 3 other friends, a launch edition PS5 because I happened to be on Twitter in the
Boo.
right minute and the right moment. And I did not have a lapse of employment during the pandemic. So me keeping up psychotically every day, just checking, just sporadically checking. Saw people tweeting that it was live on Amazon like 30 seconds ago. Literally called all my bros up and we all got PS5s day one. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm psycho. When I
Yeah.
want something, I want it. I'm psycho.
Kind of did the same thing. Like near the beginning, I just I knew Walmart was doing like limited sales where you had to be in line online to do it. So I would just sit there
Oh, yeah.
when
Garbage.
I was working from home, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit there and reload over and over for the 1 o'clock. I got fucked over one day, right? But it allowed me to keep it in my cart. So I knew that they were gonna do it again a few days later. So it was already in my cart. So as soon
You
as that
just
hit,
left it
I just
open.
clicked purchase, and it worked. I was like, got that.
That's amazing.
Dude,
And it was so fun like
not
hunting
gonna
down
work.
PS5s for people too. Like not only did I like alert my like the immediate people around me to go order a PS5, the hunt for that first year was like I probably found like 10 PS5s for people that I know. Because I don't know, it's the thrill of the hunt. I don't know, it's kind of fun. I don't get it, but I have like crazy girl energy with things. I don't know.
Yeah, mine were just like uh shots in the dark. I just walked into a source and it's like, oh, there's a Series X there. I was like, hold here, I'll get some money, I'll be back, and I just impulse bought it. PS5, I waited until there was a good sale over at GameStop and just traded my PS4 in for it. Although stupidly, I probably should have saved a controller, because I realized that I bought extra equipment so that my PSVR will work on the PS5, but I don't have a PS4 controller. You need a PS4 controller for some of these games because it requires the light source for it. So I was like, shit. Well, I better go find a PS4 controller. But then it also dawned on me too that I need a PS4 controller for my PS TV if I'm gonna play PSP and Vita games I own on my TV. So
Yes.
gotta go hunt
Well, you
for a
can
PS4
PS3
controller.
controller.
I
PS3
like to
controller.
feel the PS4 controller better over PS3, even
Okay,
though it's
just
essentially
didn't
the
know
same
if you
thing
knew
from
that or
before
not.
there. But I will say
Yeah.
to someone's point there, when we're talking about like how everything progressed and how everything was at a stand, I will say that yeah, PS3 360 kind of is the peak there, because if you look between PS3 and or sorry, like at 360 and one,
Mhm.
major difference was maybe frame rate, maybe a little bit better graphical fidelity. And then you go from one to Series S X. Again, it's just frame rate, maybe 4K, but then you're going back to 30 frames.
And it
So
also
it just seems like we went from 15 frames to 30 frames to 60 frames, but now we're going back to 30 if you want to put it on graphics mode. And I don't know. I've been playing all of the Final Fantasy VII remakes, so like Intergrade and all that. And they give you the option for performance versus graphics. And when I put graphics on, it's like, yeah, it looks pretty, but it chugs like hell. But if I put on performance, oh man, it's just frame rate. I'm never usually a graphics whore like that, but like if I can
That's a
choose
really
between the
cool
frame rate
option.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's really cool.
To tag on to what you were saying too, going from like 360 PS3 to PS4 and Xbox One, um, a lot of the games that came out, and if they didn't understand what they were working with, you got some not wonderful results. The biggest thing I could think of immediately is think of Mortal Kombat 9. You know, it was pretty beautiful on Xbox 360 and PS3. It looked great. And then think of like Mortal Kombat X. The characters looked like they were plastic with sweat just dripped over them.
Mhm.
It looked not great looking back. Pretty awful. I mean, it's a good game to play, but visually just not great. Definitely
You
did
got me
not stand
curious
the
now.
test
I
of
might have to
time.
go. I might have to re-download that and install Mortal Kombat 9 on my Series X to see the difference.
Okay, let me just say, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this game, but on my PS3, I had downloaded Super Rub-a-Dub, which you play like a little ducky like puzzle navigation game, kind of like
This
monkey
sounds
ball kind of
amazing.
feelings, with the little like gyroscope in the PS3 controller.
Holy
And
fuck!
when I was like a teenager, I was like, y'all, this is the future of gaming. This is peak video games.
Yeah!
I don't know why this game left a weird impression on me, but I was like, this cool little indie download game is the peak of video games. I have fond
Oh, is
feelings for
this
this
thing?
silly little download game.
Is this the game that they showed in MGS4, where it's like this is the power of cell processing? Or they
I don't
kept
know. I
throwing
just
rubber
like
ducks
bought it
into a
on
pool.
sale like years
This looks
ago.
very familiar, unless they like took the
Uh,
same concept. I can't see it in motion because I'm looking at screenshots, but like
But it was
it's
really fun, and I was like, "This is real video games. This is the future, everyone.
I
The
thought
PS3,
that
best console ever."
I thought we were going into like the future of like weird puzzle games and whatnot when I was playing Breath of the Wild on not the Switch but on Wii
Mhm.
U, and to complete one of the ball
Oh,
puzzles, like you're supposed to get to go through the maze, right? I just flipped my gamepad upside down and gave it a flat surface to roll on instead.
oh
I was
yeah,
like, you can
everyone did
fucking
that.
do that?
that's
What?
awesome.
So yeah, I get exactly what you're talking about. It's wild. But to get us back on track with everything, hey, let's talk about the Xbox. Let's talk about Xbox and how they don't want to talk about hardware at fucking all. They
Huh?
like in terms of like hardware and everything, they have been like absolutely silent. Sony has been talking about like you know, their life cycle, you know, we're in the ladder 3, everything like that. And right now we're hearing about Game Pass. Game Pass, Game Pass. I'm not hearing much of anything when it comes to
I
hardware from them.
I thought on that big podcast where people were like, you know, everyone tuned in and they kind of had a gotcha where I was like, oh, you thought we were done and we're putting all our games on everything? Well, we're gonna give people 4 games, but you know, we're still around. And hey, we're actually working on our next console right now.
Yeah, they may be,
That's
which
what I'm
also
not hearing.
says that's the thing though. If they're saying they're working on their next console, they're also admitting that this is just done and over and they're wrapping it up. So they're not wanting to talk about hardware either. They're wanting to talk about let's wrap this shit up and move forward.
I don't know, because like I mean, they'll say they're working on it, but like, I don't think we're gonna see anything from it for quite a while. Like, we'll get an announcement of the thing, and then we'll have another year of speculation, and then we'll have. But then again, we don't have E3 anymore for Xbox to just come out and. We'll have to wait for the Keighley Game Fest in the summertime.
Like, Microsoft is probably
Keighley Game
playing
Fest.
coy right now, and like, there's always this little tiptoe with like console wars, and like Nintendo just does whatever they want, right? Like, they don't care; they do what they want.
Yeah.
However, it's probably the little dance of like, let's see what Sony's going to announce that's interesting or a broad feature on their console, and then they'll just change their business plan and their console plan accordingly to have an edge on them. That's probably the mood.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Sony did when Microsoft unveiled the Xbox One, and then all that stuff came out about it. And you got Major Nelson telling people it's like, oh, it's not that easy to flip the Switch, and then like 2 weeks later they flipped the Switch because Sony just basically spanked their ass. It's like, hey, guess what? You own that game. You can trade it. You can do this. Now some of the things that they said weren't necessarily true because digital games, you still have to be connected to play them, even if they're single player. They have to have that have to authenticate. You take your console offline. It's like, oh, we don't know if you're online. You can't play. So that's still there. They didn't take that out. And Sony sure as fuck didn't do that either.
No. I don't know if it's like if you have to log in like every few days or something like that, or if you're offline you're just boned. I don't know. I haven't done that in a while because I haven't lost internet.
I do remember when the Xbox One first launched and KI started going to tournaments, and there's some point there where like they're in mid-tournament and they're like, please log in to authenticate. It's been 24 hours, and they're just like,
oh my god,
do we have
that's so
cringe
somewhere? Why that just like literally ruins everything. That makes me so angry. That's garbage.
Why can't we just leave the license on the console? Like, it's not that big a deal. It's weird though, because like we have the wife has the Xbox One X in her office to stream from. I make that the home consoles just so that she doesn't have to pay for gold, and most of the games I have like are purchased on my account, so she just play them and play online, whatever. Doesn't work the same way because she bought Tomb Raider Remastered and I downloaded on this console here on the series. I was like, oh, I mean, when you're not playing it, I'll play it. I have to have her signed into this one before I'm able to play it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
God.
It's like, can we just have a shared account? Like, Nintendo has this thing with the shared account. Like, they can just, I don't know.
Well, I think like Wordman is saying in the chat here, I don't know if I fully believe it, but there's evidence to it that they don't want you to own the game. It just
absolutely
it behooves them to make sure that you license the game versus actually own it.
Dude, okay, I'm not trying to like be like the record that keeps skipping and going back, but like digital media equal bad media. Like, everyone's flipping out right now with like Crunchyroll, Funimation, and all the Sony stuff of like all these companies getting absorbed and purchased out, and Funimation is gonna be bye-bye in a couple more months. They're totally absolving it, and they're like, we're trying to figure out a way to compensate you for all the anime you bought on Funimation digitally, because we're just not gonna give it to you straight. So, and we're seeing this with the video game company. Like, that's what they've been trying to do subtly for years, and they just want you to keep spending money if you want something, or essentially have you rent something. And there's just so much discourse right now with like subscription services and how like licensing works with so many different things, that everything is so damn splintered. And yes, I have an obnoxious, goofy bookshelf out in my living room with every single piece of freaking physical media in the world. But like, there's so much stuff you cannot get if you don't own it, or it's impossible to get, or really expensive to try and get it digitally. So, and like my rage too with like retailers right now too, removing discs and cartridges in their gaming sections. removing physical media, DVDs, Blu-rays, it's like, what's the point of even shopping in an electronics center if I can't like physically own the thing that I want? It's so dumb.
Mhm.
What gets even worse because now they're just making it next to impossible to go get physical media. Like, you go into Best Buy now, and they've decided that physical media is the devil, so you're not allowed to. You can't just go in there and look at the CDs, the DVDs. You can't look at anything anymore. It's just gone. Come look at this camera. Okay, you don't want a camera? How about a phone? Don't want
Such
a phone?
garbage.
Mhm.
Okay, this whole
How
store
about
is officially
TV? How about a
useless.
fridge?
Like it
Like,
sucks.
I don't know. It's just so upsetting. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's like, I think the appeal of getting rid of a lot of stuff when like streaming services or digital services were not as psycho as they are now. It's like, well, I don't have a bunch of shit around. But it's like, I can go look at that shit and grab this 20-year-old game that I have to buy a service and I have to have a system or this or that. Or it's not even like the true version or there's something weird or different. Like I can go back and play like the legit thing if I just hang on to it. And to have gotten rid of it in the past, to find that physical piece of media again is super hard and challenging. It's just not accessible. In the long term, it's not accessible and they're just gouging people for money.
No, a great segue. Speaking of folks who want to keep things inaccessible, but also want to sue you if you try to get with them anyway, hey, let's talk about Nintendo. We'll talk about
All
Nintendo.
right. Hey, we're an equal opportunity hater around here.
Maniacal laughter.
Oh, yeah, everybody thought,
Shit
oh,
on Sony, shit on Microsoft. Now it's Nintendo's turn.
oh, you thought we were going to be nice to Nintendo because of, like, all the Nintendo games back here? Oh, you sweet stubborn child. That doesn't happen here. Everybody's fucked up. And we're going to tell them all about it. No, it's actually interesting with Nintendo. First off, what I was saying there, yes, if there's old media that they're not offering on Switch Online service and, like, it's broke, your SNES is broken or something, and you want to play it, and you get a ROM of it, they want to nuke you. How dare? How dare you want to play that, and they offer you no other way? How dare?
Boo.
You're terrible. Just awful people. How could you do that to this poor company?
Well, I mean, if Nintendo's gonna nuke me, they're gonna have to send at least like 7 or 8 of them because I've got at least that many devices that have the entire library on them. Sad.
But the interesting thing is, all year long of 2023, there was this. Well, even before then, honestly, this whole Switch 2 nonsense has been talking. First, it was the Switch Pro. That's what everybody was talking about, right? So Switch Pro, until the Switch OLED was officially announced, and that killed all of the Switch Pro talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went over to Switch 2. It's been the thing. Like, all the clickbaity YouTube channels you can find are all telling you that the Switch 2 is coming out this year. It's going to be available in the holiday season. That's what they are all saying right now. But here's the fun thing that just happened for anybody who's paying attention. So Nintendo just had the Direct. It wasn't a Direct. I think it was just a video they posted.
Partner Direct.
Well, I think the thing in question is the Pokemon Legends video they posted.
Oh, okay.
Just explain everything with the new Pokemon Legends coming up. It's all taking place in one city, which made people nervous. They're afraid the game's going to be small because of that. That remains to be seen. Who knows? But the one thing they said, coming to Nintendo Switch in 2025. Which means that the Switch is still going to be a viable system for their software, their games in 2025. At this point, pretty much burying for good the notion that there is going to be new hardware from Nintendo this year. So it's interesting. While the other two big companies are being really coy about their hardware and just saying, well, this is in the latter years, or we're working on new stuff right now, indicating we're probably stepping away from this, Nintendo continues to be dead silent and wants everyone to believe that this thing is going to last for a decade. And the funny
That's
thing
cool.
is, here's the crazy part. If everybody's taking count here, it released the Switch released February of 2017. Here we are, past February of 2024. 7 years.
Mhm.
It only has 3 years to go to actually achieve that. So the big question is, and I wanted to pose this to you two to see what you thought. Can it happen? Can they do it?
I think I mean they've sold enough units, and people love the portability of the Switch. I mean, you've got people that complain about the graphics and I can just play this on Xbox.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
that doesn't matter. Like those games, like people buy Nintendo for Nintendo, I find. And then also if let's say if they want to take, the games that don't need to be so graphically intense, like maybe some re-releases or some remasters that run just fine on the Switch, they'll go for that. Like if Nintendo's got a couple more killer apps in them, I could probably see them going for the next little bit. I mean, to them, Nintendo has never been about being like a graphically intense console. I mean, you saw glimmers of that with the GameCube, but after the GameCube, it's just no, let's just keep making the GameCube, but let's add a gimmick to it to make it special. Because the Wii was basically a GameCube with just motion controls, and the Wii U was just an HD version of the Wii, right? So graphics are not their priority. If they can just keep making the same great experiences with their first party stuff, and eventually still have all those remakes and remasters, I could see it there. But then again, it is getting a little long in the tooth, so I don't know. I'm kind of split on that. I think they could do it? Yeah. Should they do it? Probably not. It might be time to get something a little bit more beefier out there that can handle something and not entice third parties to make stuff that's on par with what's on the other consoles. I'm looking at you, NetherRealm, and your Mortal Kombat games.
Oh god.
Sorry, 11 and 1 look like ass on the Switch.
I didn't
And
think
did you know
11
that
was
the
all that
Switch
bad.
isn't even getting multiplayer crossplay? Crossplay is finally available for Mortal Kombat 1, but the Switch isn't getting it.
No, I wouldn't.
That's
I wouldn't dare.
hysterical.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
dare.
They just don't care.
No. I wouldn't
So
dare do that at all.
honestly, with Nintendo extending the Switch as long as possible, me as a consumer, that would make me very happy because I'm very anxious and overwhelmed with backlogs and whatnot. And I don't know. I mean, all of the in-house Nintendo stuff is really amazing and really good quality products that come out, generally speaking. And kind of like what I said earlier, I don't know. I mean, I guess Nintendo's always a little bit behind, but I guess I could see them making a leap closer to the Xbox and the PS5 right now. I guess they could be closer to that in terms of graphical power and all that stuff. But it doesn't need to be, in my opinion. It doesn't need to be. I'm strictly there just for Nintendo stuff. I'm not playing other games on it. I think it's such a well-sold console. It's kind of hard to say because I guess they might want to make money moving new consoles, but are they going to make profits? Because a lot of the first year with releasing a new console, it's not extremely profitable if they are releasing a limited amount to start. I really don't know. I guess the answer would be, I hope it's closer to a 10-year console cycle. I felt like my 3DS in particular was about 10 years. I had a lot of really good use out of that. I played the 3DS more than my Switch when the Switch first came out. Personally, I would be happy and okay if it was closer to a 10-year console. But it kind of depends on their priorities and the way they want to market and maybe turn profits and projects into the next system. What do they want to do? The one thing that I think about is I still haven't played it just because I can't warrant spending $50 or $60 on certain games, but I want to play it so bad. But I think about their next big Mario game, and I think about Bowser's Fury. Okay. And that's the thing. That's like the thing that I would really want to see on a Switch 2, where I'm like, they're gonna go fucking crazy with this shit on a new console. Like, they have to make something based off of that game, like
Oh, they're going
that
to.
whole side
Yeah.
game thing. So that part of me wants a Switch 2 to see what crazy shit that they do, but the practical side of me, I would be happy as a consumer if they held off a little longer.
Oh yeah, but Bowser's Fury was definitely like a here's a little taste of what we intend to do for you, and I was on board with it, man. I think it's gonna be really good.
I know I'll love it once I play it. I just haven't, so it's killing me.
I just don't know if like they're gonna be able to make it go to its full potential on the original Switch versus something more powered. But then again, I don't know what its quote full potential is. So it's hard for me to say. So I was thinking about this, obviously, since I brought it up. And while it would be good for, like Liz was saying, consumer-wise, for us to have it as a 10-year console, and I love the thing. I mean, we have 3 in the house. We have 2 OLEDs and a Switch Lite. So clearly, we like the Switch in here. I think the problem is a lot of like the new Chase releases that everybody wants. Just can't go to Switch. That's a problem. So like when you have these multi-plat games that are coming out and like everybody wants to play it, they're going to have to make sure they either have a PS5 or an Xbox Series system, because Switch is just out of the question for them, which isn't good. That really sucks. And the other problem, while they're getting beat up in the home market because of that, they're also getting beat up a little bit in the handheld market now, because you have Valve, you have AMD coming out with their handheld. You've got all these different ones, and I know like they're still trying to catch their footing and they're still trying to get it together, especially with what is the name of that one? The AMD system. I can't remember.
An AMD handheld?
Or I don't know if it was AMD, but it was one of the PC brands. The PC peripheral
might have
brand.
been Asus.
Maybe.
The Ally. Yeah, the
yeah.
Ally. The ROG Ally. Yeah.
The
I've seen people
I'm
around
so not
my
aware of these
city
things.
playing those. And I mean, it's just basically like their own branded version of a Steam Deck. But it looks cool. I'll never have one. I'll never play anything on that because I don't handheld game at all. Like I've tried taking like the Switch to conventions, and it's just like I'm too tired out, and I'm usually the one that's doing all the driving. So
I'm here to be at the
I don't have
convention.
anything out there. Basically, yeah. Maybe like if I'm bored near the end of the night, I'll throw on something on the Switch, but mostly it'll just be like I'll just do a quick run of Link to the Past or Metroid or something. I'm not gonna play anything super intense unless I'm like lately was like working through Tears of the Kingdom, just doing the side content.
Well, the Ally, the thing running against it that Nintendo can breathe a sigh of relief for a little bit is their OS is actually Windows based, which Windows doesn't have an OS for handheld systems like that, meaning it's janky. So users have reported their experiences are less than wonderful. So they're not very happy with the Ally right now. We'll see if maybe that gets fixed in the future. Who knows? But it is a powerful device, far more powerful than the Switch, meaning when it comes to those chase releases that people want multiplat, the Ally could run the thing. Switch couldn't. That's a problem. And then, of course, we know about the Steam Deck. That's also has been eating the lunch for Switch. You know, a lot of the games that people can't play on Switch, they can play on the Steam Deck. And I don't know if anybody's heard about this one game that people have been talking a lot about that's also been eating Pokemon's lunch. Power World? I don't know if you've heard of that. We'll have to see if that... Yeah, we'll have to see if that runs on the Steam Deck. That may, make people...
Is that verified yet?
About that. It's been what?
That's not deck verified yet? The Power World?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't own a deck.
Let me check. I'm pull up Steam right now. I don't have it on Steam, but
even if it's not deck verified right now, it can be in the future, which, that bleeds into what I'm talking about. It could be problematic to continue having like all of these hits in terms of software that just have to keep missing the Switch because of the scenario. Now, at the same time, I don't think Nintendo has ever really been all that concerned with these things, because they think that their software is usually superior to other games, and most of the time they're right. But at the same time, you've got to think of like mass consumers. A lot of PC folks refuse to touch Nintendo and just go with Steam Deck.
Oh my god.
And at the same time, you got to
Nice.
ask yourself, were they going to be consumers for Nintendo anyway? Maybe not. Kids who want to play their PC stuff on the go probably might choose a Steam Deck instead of a Switch. So we've got different ideas floating around and different things to consider. I think it's probably okay to let it go a little longer, but I don't know how much longer, if that makes sense. Simply
Check the
because...
Steam page.
ahead.
Yep. Power World is compatible on the Steam Deck, so you can play Power World on the go.
So
Crazy.
AI world sucks. That's why I read the chat. AI world sucks. I get it, but here's the thing. There's a lot of people who don't feel that way. And there's a lot of people who are willing to buy that game and then make sure they have a Steam Deck to play the game if they can't be around their PC at the given moment. And that's just money on the table that's lost, for stuff like that. But then again, in the same breath, it's not like Power World would ever come to a fucking Switch anyway. There's like zero chance.
Dude,
World ending.
The thing can barely run on a Series X. I don't think it's coming to the Switch. Just saying. Dude, I've looked at Power World running on PCs with good settings, and I've seen it running on my Series X. If you have a good enough PC to run it, PC's the way to go. But I mean, it is on Game Pass if you want to try it out and see what it's all about.
And Chad, I disagree
it's
with...
essentially...
go ahead.
It's just essentially it is Ark Survival with Breath of the Wild and Pokemon. So if you like those three things mushed together, might like it.
I see here in chat, I disagree about the PC gamers. I think usually they'll have a Nintendo for Nintendo, then PC for everything else. Sometimes, but if you go into places like PCMR, like the PCMR people, they kind of get a little serious about it sometimes, to the point where it's absurd. Like, I'll give
At least
you...
the people I know in real life are like this, though. They're like, I got my Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything else on my PC. Like, it's very common.
Yeah. The real life people I know are like that, but I'm just saying that there are people who exist that are just like, no, I'm not
the
touching
exaggerated
Nintendo.
Internet. Losers, they don't know what real games are.
Like,
Losers.
I'll give everybody a prime example of the kind of person I'm talking about right now, so you know that I'm not making this type of person up. Anybody ever heard of Linus Sebastian? Anybody know him? Linus Tech Tips?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't I don't even know his name except for Linus. Okay.
Yeah. Linus Sebastian can't stand Nintendo, will not touch it.
Well, he's not cool. We don't like him. Whatever.
Fuck you, Linus.
I've seen videos where he buys those cheap Chinese knockoff consoles. He's touched Nintendo at least by proxy.
Oh, what a bitch.
Oh, he like...
This is war,
knocks
Linus.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay,
Yeah.
we've declared war with...
Yeah, he's had
War,
stuff like this.
Linus.
Well, not exactly like this, but like he's had like these little consoles there.
Well, they've got to do stupid shit to make videos, man. That's what they have to do. They have to build Temu PCs. Or I'm sorry, it's Temu.
Oh,
Temu
God.
PCs.
Yeah, I saw that clip on TikTok. I was like, wait, that's how you pronounce it? I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Temu?
Yeah, everybody just said
Temu?
Temu, but it's apparently
Oh,
it's
but
Temu.
everyone hates them now, so who cares?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay. I think that's it. I think we could go ahead and wrap it up here. Unless you guys have anything else for these wild rascals in chat.
I
I'm
got nothing.
tired.
Yeah,
I want to go bed.
it's late. We got to wrap this up, guys. But we appreciate everybody coming out on a Sunday to have this show when we usually do it on a Friday. So greatly appreciate that. That is going to be it for this episode. Once again, episode 21. We have passed episode 20 at this point. We're going to keep going with this. And hope you all are going to go on that ride with us. We'll see you again very soon. Have a good night.